Good morning, Mr. Cortez. Mr. Cortez, you are wanted out of
Calcasieu Parish, Judge, Louisiana.
residential contract fraud, $5,000 or more, but less than $25,000. Theft from $1,000, but less than $5,000. And thirdly, failing to possess the required license for home improvement. Your lawyer is asking for me to set you a bond. I don't know. I don't know anything about you. I know that you're going to tell me that everything is little sunshine and rainbows and gumdrops, but I have to know everything about you. And so I have Mr. Kim here to help me with that. Please.
Your Honor, Louisiana is requesting that there be no bond until he's returned. However, they have informed me that this warrant, while issued out in 2022, is a 2B warrant, and it's not a failure to appear. The remainder of his history is in Harris County, the failure to ID, and the assault family member. State just asked that reasonable bail be set at $7,500.
Judge, I would ask that he be allowed to go turn himself in or to put your bond out there within 14 days. So you won't have to wait here.
I'm okay with giving you a bond.
Okay.
Now is the amount, because
I would ask for $2,000, Judge.
I think that that's just probably a little bit too low.
Okay.
I have to set your bond sufficiently high so that I know you're going to go back to Calcasieu Parish, Louisiana.
Okay,
You have to understand that we don't play games here.
I know.
We give you one chance and one chance only. If I set you a bond and you fail to go back, you need to understand that there are very grave consequences. The consequence is that I'm going to revoke this bond. You will lose all that money and I'm going to set it at zero, and I'm not going to play this game with you again.
Yes, sir.
You will wait until Louisiana comes and gets you. Do you understand? So once again, let's split the puppy. Right? You're asking for 7,500.
Yes, sir.
You're asking for 2. Let's split. So, huh?
Is that 4,000?
I was gonna say 3,500 because I'm not good at math,
I'm not
but
good at math either.
No.
That's, I don't.
so I will set your bond at $3,500. But the only other thing I'm going to counsel you is, Mr. Cortez, don't wait until the day before to go back, because as Murphy's Law dictates, what can happen will. And I don't care if you break down, if you're a death, I don't care. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
And,
Let's start a withdrawal then.
Yeah. Did you want him brought back up for the withdrawal waiver, Judge?
No, let's do everything now.
okay.
No, no.
Judge, I have a Mr.
Let's be efficient.
Is this a fugitive?
See if I can get this right. Adrian Johnson was supposed to have had a court date here on 12/12/23.
23.
23.
Oof.
However, David Johnson, during that period of time, had gone to Atlanta, Georgia. While he was in Atlanta, Georgia, he picked up a possession of marijuana case where he spent one day in the jail and he got out. He didn't get out. Instead of getting out, they transported him to Appleton, Georgia, where he picked up a theft case, and he stayed there 13 months. Therefore, his reason for not being here on time was because he had went to Atlanta, Georgia, picked up a possession of marijuana case. Then when he got out, they didn't let him out. He had already had another warrant on him for a theft case up in Appleton, Georgia.
Do you have a cause number by chance?
Yes, sir. We have.
No, for our case here.
Yes, sir. 247-6875. 247-6875. Adrian Johnson. So I'm respectfully requesting to reinstate his bond or give him another PR bond, Judge.
Mr. Johnson, you were charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. You were facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On September 22nd, 2023, officers were dispatched to a lawn management company at 630 Rankin Circle for a burglary in progress. The defendant and a co-defendant had cut through the fence surrounding the property and were searching through vehicles at the location. There were surveillance videos of the defendant and co-defendant inside a van on the property.
Can you run an NCIC on him? I'd like to know what, if anything, has happened from the time that he picked this case up to the time he's now back in front of us.
Yes, Judge.
I don't know, Mr. D. Guys, he has a warrant for now, and I don't know if I'm going to give him a PR bond. I want to see how he's been since September 23. If you've been on picking up cases like it's just left and right, then I don't know, man, you know, but
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
my only concern is my community. That's all I care about, and I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my community. You know, if you've just become a danger where you're hopscotching states and you're playing hopscotch and you're picking up cases while you're hopscotching, no. The revolving door closes.
So I do see on December 7th, 2023, the Georgia case theft by taking, but that's the only other case.
Is that a felony or was that a misdemeanor?
It's felony, Your Honor.
What was it? Do you have a disposition?
No, there's no disposition listed.
13 months per him, Judge.
Anything else he's picked up?
No, Your Honor.
I have the, oh man, speak. All right, let's see.
I'm going to reinstate your bond now, but I'm not going to do it again. If you take flight on me again, I'm telling you, I'm going to make it high. No more PR bonds for you. You got a little kid in your charge, man. Be the good father that you should be. Teach them right, you know, because they look on you for support and for them to do the right way. They see this. We don't need more. Know what I mean? Come on, man. Be better. I'm placing bond conditions on you now that you're not to go back to this location where this occurred and you're not to be in possession of weapons. Don't pick up any new cases. You've got a great lawyer here. Just listen to him. He'll take care of you. If I find that you're becoming a danger, you know what's going to happen. I don't have any tolerance. We have nothing but death and destruction on the news. I don't want any more. Do you understand? So, all right, man. Good luck. Don't leave until you sign the bond conditions. Okay.
Thank you.
That states.
Mr. Bada, Mr. Segun.
Yeah, I'm right here, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Your Honor, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. And let me tell you now that I really haven't seen a lawyer go above and beyond the call of duty as Bayoshi has done in this case. Everything and every time you have been back here is because of something that has happened, or I'm sorry, something that has failed to happen. The last time here, all you had to do was provide documentation that you could not afford whatever it was. You have failed to provide that documentation. As a result, they've now kicked you out of the program. I know that Bayoshi is going to give it one last shot as to whether he's able to either get the case dismissed, get you back in. I don't know. But I am now putting this baby to bed. So I will give you a week. Is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor. That should be enough time.
I am not waiving your appearance anymore. And in the next week, if he is unable to get you back into the program, if he is unable to get the case dismissed, you must either accept the plea bargain agreement from the state, or I will immediately set your case for trial, and it's going to be a very short trial setting. Do you understand?
I understand, sir.
It's unacceptable that we are now at 800 days, and they have literally over and over and over bent over backwards to help you. And if I were you, I would probably just, you know, I can tell you now that Bayoshi's not very happy with you as well.
I'm not happy with myself too. And
So-
I don't have power over the old situation.
I don't look, I'm not, I don't want you to say anything. Don't
say.
say anything. There's
Okay.
nothing you need to say. The only thing that matters are actions. You telling us something makes no, it goes in one ear, it goes out the other ear. Because when you get out there, we still have issues. So I don't care. I'm giving Bioji a week to do what he can do. If it doesn't work out and it doesn't end up getting dismissed, you must be here in court. If you fail to appear, I'm going to revoke your bond. Do you understand?
I understand, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on. Before
Thank you,
he
Your
leaves,
Honor.
I want to give him the date.
Oh, yep, you need to.
Don't go because I want to give you the date so I can mark everything down so that you knew exactly what day and what time you had to be here.
Okay, sir. I'll be there.
What day do you want, Bioji?
Your Honor, we can literally do this time next week, the 24th.
If you need a little bit more, because I know how busy you are, I'm happy to give you an extra week if you want.
In 2 weeks' time, then that would be the 30th.
Yeah, but don't pick a Friday because Fridays are busiest with arraignments. So like perhaps like a Thursday or whatnot, you know?
Okay, I'll pick, okay,
You want that Thursday?
let me just double check that.
That would be
That would be Thursday, the 30th.
30th. You want to do that? And because of how great you have been, Bioji that, but
I appreciate Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday, the 30th works.
on page 13, top of 13, SFVF 130, please. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. If you could,
You must be here January 30th. If the case is still active and it doesn't get dismissed, you must be here in person on that day and either accept a plea bargain from the state or we will immediately set it for trial. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck. So I found it really weird. I guess, so they go there for an argument or sorry, just quote unquote disturbance. He just ups and what say you? What say you? Is there probable cause? If
I
not,
don't-
why not?
So the issues that I do have was, there was that officer never observed my client actually driving. It was there for a disturbance, so he was on the outside. There was a crash, but there was no reports exactly on the crash. So with the charge, it has to require proof that he was driving and operating a motor vehicle. I think.
What is a crash?
So he had, so someone so someone actually hit his car. So the person that actually ran into his car was the person that was actually at fault. So that's why I'm trying to get the crash report on text docs. But he was upset because he just bought that car. But the person ran into him. There's allegations on whether he was driving or not. But at the time when the officer approached the scene, he was outside the car, he was not driving. The officer immediately just asked him for his driver's license and then handcuffed him. After it sees that his license is suspended.
Yes, sir. And that's all we have. He arrived, he saw him upset due to, as the officer put, being in a vehicle crash, and then he immediately asked for his driver's license and insurance, and that's whenever.
Oh, so this happened at the scene.
No. It was when he went to the disturbance, he arrived at what appears to be.
Right. So, but did you get that? So there's a disturbance at a house.
Right.
It's not at a crash scene.
Right.
Right.
So he goes to the house, right? And so the officer says that, or he just says he was involved in a crash.
Mhm.
And does he arrests him right there for driving on a suspended license?
After he says he's upset due to being in a crash, that's when he asks for his license, and that's when the defendant says, I don't have a license or insurance, and my license is suspended. So then at that point, the officer arrests him. So it
So but
appears,
did the officer see his driver's license?
Right. And then and
Or-
there's just,
and before arresting him, he ran it and found his license was suspended, but as counsel notes, he didn't see him driving anything. He just.
and then what is a crash? I mean, how do we know he didn't crash into like,
Right. So I did
Like
ask
curb.
my client too, because my client's actually a victim.
it's like,
in this.
At this time, all we have is the officer going off of that, him upset due to being in a crash. And that's all we have as far as operation, is that he was involved in a vehicle crash.
Right. I don't think that's enough to meet PC.
hey, guys, this is an unusual case. Come up, please.
This is why I'm here, Judge.
This is really unusual. I mean, I've never seen like some, just, so what we have,
Go ahead, Judge.
an officer goes to a house because of a disturbance. Goes there, starts talking to this defendant. Defendant tells the officer, I'm really upset because I got into a car accident. So then the officer starts asking him, hey, do you have license and insurance? And the guy goes, no. And then he just arrests him for driving on a suspended license. You know what I mean? I've never just, what's a crash? You know, what just, people say stuff all the time. That's,
It's with there being a crash.
Do we have
A little
an
bit more
offense
details.
report?
There's no offense.
Can you pull the
report
OR
that
from
says-
Superior? So here's the thing, Judge,
isn't this, I mean, this is
I've
like,
seen something like this before where they say something like that and they kick off a DWI investigation. Like, to me, investigating what happened with this alleged car crash isn't weird to me. What I am curious to see is what exactly the statement is and whether or not he indicated he was like in a vehicle for a car crash or if he indicated he was driving and there was a car crash.
that's what.
But I think the important thing is what he said prior. I think if there was an alleged statement, it came out after the officer checked his license. The first thing that the officer did was ask him for his license.
So,
Seeing him outside of the,
sorry to
go
interrupt.
ahead.
So asking for a license is a typical way to just identify people on scene. You know, like people give fake names, all of that.
Sure.
Don't
okay.
have an issue with
And then
that.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and like all the stuff so far, like you get told that there's a crash, you want to do some kind of investigation, ask the person for means of identification, get told I don't have a license or insurance or sorry, and my license is suspended by seeing the dims.
He has no proof that he was even driving.
That's what I'm saying is I want to see the verbatim of the offense report to see if the statement is I was involved in a motor vehicle crash or if I was driving and I was in a crash. So that's kind of what I want to see in the full.
But what
OR.
I'm saying is so what I'm saying is that the statement, it's important if that statement was before he.
And here's the thing, compounding this, he's on probation and here for a DWI. So that's why I'm like,
I want to see if he says he
here,
was
let me
driving.
add some fuel to your fire. So I guess let's do this. Do you want to put off the probable cause hearing and maybe do it Monday? Give you time to, further research?
Oh, do you not have Superior on?
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, one
And
second.
Tuesday, were we gonna get snow or what? Are we gonna close?
I just got an email, some reports are saying because of inclement weather, they'll be closed, but I don't know if it's
You think we'll be closed? I mean, they get one kernel of snow, the whole city like stops.
Tuesday. So this court's closed on Monday due to the weather.
No,
It's
MLK.
MLK.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, it's a
So
holiday,
Tuesday and
like it or
Wednesday.
not.
Tuesday, we might not be open because of the weather.
Yeah, it's the weather. It's supposed to get bad. Like,
Just
It's supposed to be like 33 degrees.
It'll be fine. We'll be here.
I think we should all stay open. Just salt the roads.
do you want to take some time?
Let me pull this offense report and see what the offense report says. If, depending on that, then yeah, maybe what we need to do is have somebody actually watch the body cam and see what his verbatim statement is. Because if he wheels himself and says, like, hey, I don't have a license and insurance and I was driving earlier while he's on probation for a DWI. I mean, frankly, it seems like he's kind of lucky that they didn't take him down or at least start the SFSTs and see if he was driving while intoxicated on this instance.
I mean, would your be, so I guess with him, if he did make that statement for the court, would you look to see when he made that statement or would it matter?
I think we need to look at everything. And I think that let's give you more time.
Okay.
Because I want you guys to make a full investigation to see,
Fine.
because if there's probable cause, I'm going to file a motion to revoke. So there's quite a bit riding on it.
If you want to give me a second, I'll pull the
So
OR.
in the interim, I'd like to do conditions. Come up. You are not allowed to drive. Do you understand?
Sure.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care if there's a burning building and you have to say 50 kittens. You get into a car and drive. I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? You're also not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you to make sure that you're not using as well. What's his last name again? So what we're going to do, Mr. Sanchez, is I'm giving the state and I'm giving the defense lawyer time because we're going to set this for a formal probable cause hearing. You are on probation out of this court for driving while intoxicated. You now have picked up a new case, but I want to make sure that there is probable cause before we go forward. Do not drive. Do you understand? All right. So we'll have you swear to this. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. So no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no driving. And then we'll see him back on Wednesday. Okay. Thanks. All right. Come on, Mr. Sanchez.
For day trading Johnson, the blue briefcase, you bond was taken.
Okay, are we done?
We have one more, Your Honor. Pinkney, Mr. Pinkney, Your Honor.
This is Mr. Pickney, right? Okay.
In charge. But
Oh, did you want to argue about PC?
Right.
yeah. No, Your Honor, just condition.
Yeah, I just did no driving.
Okay.
And, you know, I told him that if he gets a license, if he gets insurance, I'll take it off and then he can drive and then there's no conditions. That's it. All
I've
right,
talked
Coming
to,
up, Mr. Pickney.
Your Honor, I have my last client, he did get tested. They found THC.
Jason? Okay, which one is it? Is that him? Come on up. All right, just stay out of trouble. Just don't drive. That's all I'm asking you to do. You know, if you get your license, go get insurance. I'm so happy for you. I'll take this restriction off. It's not hard. Look. Here, if you mind giving this, this is the number to the driver's license division for DPS. When you call there, you can ask them what you need to do to get your number. The line is so busy that if you call at any time, they're not going to get, you have to call at 7 in the morning, right when the phone lines open up, call them, ask them what you need to do to get the license and they'll tell you. But don't drive until you do it, until we get approval from us. All right. We've given you a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with her. If she tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games or you pick up a new case, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. You understand? Yes, sir. Okay, man. Good luck.
We'll be in touch.
That way. So what is his last name again? What is your last name? Mr. Gallegos.
Page 3.
This is not a good way to start in life. I can tell you now that if you don't have a high school diploma, you will make pennies to when everybody else is making dollars. You will never have a good job in this life at a minimum without a high school diploma. Knowledge is power. And if you don't set yourself up for something in the future, you're going to end up destitute. 90% of the marriages that are end up in divorce now is because people have no money. They fight constantly because they never have money. And it all starts now when you're 17. And it starts by staying in high school. I want you to do that. I'm going to bring you back in 2.5 weeks. I want to see what you have done to get back into school. If you need help, I can give you resources so that we can sign you up for free GED classes. Because I don't know if you're old enough to get back into high school, but if you want, I can give you resources now so that you can start with GED classes. That's fine with me. One more thing, no smoking weed. I will test you 45 to 50 days from today. If I find that you're smoking weed, it's not going to go well. You get my drift.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you stop as of now, the next time I test you, it should be negative. If you continue to use, you understand.
Yes, sir.
You must stay in touch with Ms. Oakfor. She'll tell you how to handle this case and what you need to do. If she tells you that you're playing games, I'm going to put you in jail. No more PR bonds. All right? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, man. Make me proud. Come on.
Yeah.
Judge, can I say we approach before done? Counselor, I got one thing to address real quick. I'll just make yourself or make the court aware on that Mr. Excuse me.
Sanchez.
Yeah, Mr. Sanchez. So as I said before, he doesn't definitively wheel himself in the offense report, but in reviewing the 8 pages that have been so far uploaded to Superior, it's pretty clear that the suspect in this case was attempting to fight people on scene of the accident, and that's why he had to be detained. And then after he was detained, he was trying to kick out the windows of a patrol car.
You tell me him?
Yeah. So, perhaps this is him. And this is, again, when I see somebody on a DWI probation, I'm not saying that he was like belligerently drunk. Maybe he was just truly angry because his car had gotten wrecked. The point is, even if he does not wheel himself in the body cam that gets reviewed by the ADA, we still have behavior that could result in his arrest and would still qualify, I think, as a basis for an MRP. So I think probably the most expedient way to handle all that is to file the MRP, allege both the DWLI and the fact that he was engaging in conduct that could result in his arrest.
But obviously it didn't rise to the point where they would file charges, because if an officer felt that there was enough, I mean, I can't use that to
I think.
So they didn't file.
that's not
charges.
fair.
I understand. I'm just saying, when I look at cases like these and I see behavior like that, that's what we always include, I like to include in my MAJs because all of the MAJs have the admonishment of no new law violations and the defendant shall not engage in conduct that could result in his arrest. Not that he is in fact arrested on that, but just engages in that conduct.
I got to imagine that if he was acting like that, and it was because of some kind of, alcohol or dope or whatnot, they would have charged him with another DWI. But they let him go. They didn't do anything. So
I think that I think it's premature because I would like to see the video, because what we're doing is just reading what his quote unquote character was that night versus us seeing the video. I think that's a little bit much more appropriate.
Let's set it for Wednesday for a hearing. I want to give you enough time to look at everything and then we can come back. But
I can see that there are MP4 files uploaded with the last name of the officer on the case that I assume are the body cam, but I
and
don't
then
personally.
if you need anything beforehand, just let us know.
Okay. So that's assuming that the court's going to be open on Wednesday.
I think Wednesday we're gonna be okay. I think
We
the
kind
issue
of
is
have to operate
Tuesday.
with the courthouse will exist and be open on the
Yeah,
days that we
okay.
should have
I
docket.
think,
Javier Gamero.
come up, sir.
I've been informed by pretrial services that enforcement tested positive for marijuana.
Okay,
Thank you. This is first time.
come up. What happened to the third kid?
He hasn't made it back yet.
Okay, so no more.
Yes, sir.
You're not to. I'm gonna test you again in 45 to 50 days. If I find that you're using, it's not gonna go well for you. If you stop as of right now, in 45 to 50 days, you should test negative. If you keep smoking, it's not gonna go well for you. You also need to get back into high school. This is not a good way to start in life. If you need resources, we have it for you.
I got a question. I don't got my diploma, but I got my certifications to work at the refineries. So I can't even work.
You need your high school diploma, man. That's what I'm trying to get you to do, And I have free classes for you to be able to do it. And I can give you the paperwork, so it's not going to cost you anything. But at a minimum, if that doesn't work out for you, you need something to fall back on. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna give you that paperwork. I'm gonna bring you back. I want to see that you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
All right? Okay, man. No more smoking.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, all right, guys.
God bless you.
He's back. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.